Tab Nation. It's your boy Tom, Fist Bump. Today we're going to be branching out from AHK. You guys seem to really enjoy some of the Python videos I have done in the past, so I figured I would do another one. I haven't done another language in quite a while, I feel like. So I'm going to be doing loops in Python. Very basic intro. If you want me to expand in any way, let me know what you're really looking for. You know, I definitely plan to do, more videos every so often. Maybe every few months or something, I'll do one in like JavaScript or Python or just some random language. The reason I do these videos, even though my channel is all really AHK, I would say like 90%, probably actually more than that, is because, my main focus is automation in AutoHotkeys. But if you're like me, you might eventually want to branch out, whether it's for personal fun, which is mostly why I do it, or maybe it's for you're looking for a career where, AHK maybe is not recognized as much. They're more looking for someone who knows Python. These intro videos are a great way to kind of get a taste and a look at what these languages look like and help you decide, what, maybe I've mastered AHK as much as I think I can or want to. It's time for me to branch out. Python looks pretty cool. Let me try that. So that's why I do these videos, just so you know. So yeah, Python and very basic intro to loops. So let's take a look. We're going to be using VS Code today, just because I think it works way better with Python than Notepad++ does, which I usually use, just because I'm used to it. I have no hate for either one or I like them both. So yeah. The first thing we're going to start with here is for number in range. So that's kind of like built-in functionality there. And then we're going to have our little brackets here. And in here, we're going to put the number 5. So the reason we want to use loops is so instead of having to print this 5 times, say we're doing whatever 5 times, we don't want to have to do this. That's just extra code. Look at that. That's 5 lines of code. Shoot, if we're doing 10, that's 10 lines of code versus just 2 lines of code. And this just looks cleaner. Looks more professional. I mean, this is a little easier to understand, I guess, but we want to use less lines. Sorry, I have the hiccups a little bit. So yeah, so we're doing for number in range. And if you're in VS Code and have Python, which actually I think it comes default, hovering over these is really cool. It shows you kind of some information. This is a built-in class, range, blah, 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 return an object, all that. So that's really cool when it comes to Python. A lot of languages do this, but I think Python's built into VS Code. I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments below if I'm wrong. So one thing that in Python that I can miss a lot of times is I can forget these little dots here. We definitely want to do that so it knows that we're done giving it information. We want to close it, however you want to say it. There's been so many times where I forgot to do this. So yeah, now we're not doing it down here just because it's, not like, it's not part of this, it's not a class or whatever. So we only need it on this because we're making, we're issuing a command of what we want to do, and then it's going to do it. So this is kind of considered part of this, I guess you would say. I don't know, it's hard to explain. Maybe you have a better way of explaining it than I do. And then we're going to do that print, which just basically means type out. If you're used to AutoHotkeys on my channel, that's basically the send command. So we do like send hello world, but in Python it's print, and many other languages too. So yeah, and we're going to put everything into our, sorry, this little helper thing gets in the way a little bit while I'm trying to record. So we're going to do, we're going to enclose it with our little parentheses there. We're going to put our text that we want to print into quotations. So we got hello world there. We're going to do a comma, and this is where we're going to kind of put extra information. Now, if I wanted to, I could just get rid of this and have hello world, and it would just print hello world 5 times. But the reason I'm doing this, where I'm putting number plus 1, well, actually, let's get rid of this plus 1 and just do number. So this is kind of like an array count. It's counting, 1, 2, 3, 4, that kind of thing. So let's go ahead and run this. Let's see the very basics. So we're gonna open a new terminal. That way we can see what's going on. Plus we need to actually run the script. So I had this saved on my desktop. As you see right here, I already have it pointed at my desktop. So all I need to do here, I don't need to type any file path. I'm going to say that, hey, I'm going to be running Python. And then I'm going to type the name of the script. So it's going to be loop intro 1. And even though we defined it already as being Python, we do still need to put that extension at the end of .p1. All we do is press enter. And there we go. So there we go, 5 times. But arrays start at the number 0. Some people don't know that. I didn't know that at first, when I first started coding many, many years ago. So see how it starts at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I did it 5 times, but it's showing the last one as being a 4 count. I don't want that. I want the number to start at 1 and end at 5, so I can actually see how much got done. So, as you had seen, I had that plus 1 there. So that's basically saying when we do that count, go ahead and add 1 right off the bat. And that's going to fix that problem. So just a simple plus 1. Let's take a look at that again. Probably should just copy this into my clipboard so I don't have to type it every time. So let's go ahead and do that so I don't have to type this every single time. So, same thing, Python, loop intro. Hard to use my keyboard with my mouse in front of my screen. Alright, there we go. Giving me a hard time here. So, let's go ahead and press enter. And, oh, rookie mistake. I didn't save. Good thing I have this in my clipboard. There we go. Always save your script before you run it, or you won't get the changes. So there we go. Now it's saying starting at 1, 2, 3, 4, and I can see that, oh, it ended 5, like it was supposed to, because it looped 5 times. So we're good. So that is the very intro-ness of it all. So now it's time to get a little bit fancier. So, one thing we can also do is, instead of having that 5 in there, we can put, like 1, comma 6. Go ahead, let's get rid of all that. Save. Now watch what happens when we run this. Oh, I already put it in clipboard, so that's gonna make me type it again. Come on, console, what are you doing? Terminal, whatever. Yeah. Python. Loop intro 1.py. So there we go. So even though that number thing was there, I got rid of that just because we don't need it anymore. But hello world, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's another way of doing it. I think just doing 5 is simpler. But in case you want to do 1-6, that's saying stop when you get to the number 6. Don't loop anymore. So I just want to throw that out there that there are, multiple ways to do this. But I think just having the single number there is definitely way better. But like I said, to each its own. Everybody can do what they want. The next thing we are going to do is we are going to expand on this number plus 1. So I have everything here in the comments, or they're commented out, which by the way in Python is just the hashtag, #, there's so many names for it, so whatever generation you're from. We'll call it the pound sign because that's more my generation, just showing my age a little bit. So what we're going to do here is we are going to add an asterisk, and in quotations we're going to put whatever we want here. So I'm just going to be using the pipe symbol, and you'll see what that does. You know, whatever use you have for how you want to divide stuff up, you can do that. So yeah, let's see how that's going to change everything. Oh my gosh. Might as well just start a new terminal so it's cleaner to look at. Python. I know there's a way to recall the last thing you typed, but I can't remember what it is. Do you guys know? I'll have to Google that because it's been a while since I've had to use it. Alright, we're going to go right ahead and run that. And like I said last time, make sure you save your script. I'm trying to talk to you guys at the same time, so I keep messing up. Uh-oh, what happened here? Let's take a look. Oh, okay. We forgot to put this in quotations, I believe is the problem. Just because we want to separate this from that, because it thinks we're trying to do, I guess, a math problem or something, maybe. Who knows? Really be helpful if I remembered how to do that one thing. So what we see here going on is it's still doing that number plus 1, but instead of displaying the number, it's basically gonna say, okay, plus 1, one of this, plus 2, want 2 of these. So as you see it added 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alexa, stop. I have a timer on my Echo. So yeah, as you see, it's just and it's whatever you want to put in here. If you want to have it, you know, almost like this is kind of, I mean, it's close to Roman numerals, but not quite. But yeah, so if you want to do, you know, something besides numbers, you want to do symbols or dashes or something, you can do that. So this is just kind of like a tick counter. So yeah, makes it a little bit fancier. Now we're going to take it a little bit farther. Let's go ahead and get rid of that and just go back to our basic stuff there. So now we need to use this, which is commented out. I'm going to uncomment it. We're creating a variable here that equals true. You'll see why. Go ahead and, yeah, uncomment it, everything it looks like. Yeah, I need all this. So we're going to go ahead and bring that up here. And now we're going to be looking at for, so like, basically for and else ifs, that kind of stuff. Or else ifs. If else, I don't know. For if else. So we're going to run this, and this is basically a great way for if something goes wrong or we just want to know when it's actually done. This can help us with that. I mean, there's a lot of uses for it, but in our case, we're just kind of checking, you know, did it finish what task it was supposed to be doing, or else maybe you're trying to send an email, and you're basically saying, like, after X amount of tries, just stop trying to send this email. And there's a lot of uses for it. So we're just going to do for else, and then we're going to check if worked. So if this still equals true, we're going to print all done. Now, one thing I do have right here that I want to point out is do not do a capital P on print. It will not work. It is case sensitive. Python, that's something that can be very daunting if you're used to auto hotkeys where you can pretty much do whatever you want as far as capitalization goes. Here, not so much. So make sure you keep print as lowercase or it will not work. So we're going to print, and then we're going to break out of our whole thing and, you know, continue on with whether code we have or it's just done. Now, else, meaning else the dots here. Else, meaning this loop just never completed, it's going to print, sorry, did not work. So obviously our script is going to work. So let's go ahead and do that. Thought I clicked down here. It's not. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Always throwing out videos, mostly in automation, in AutoHotkeys, but like I said at the beginning of this, I do branch out. What did we do wrong this time? Alright, here's our issues. I wasn't supposed to uncomment that, because I was supposed to be saying for else, saying that this is what that is, so we don't need that. One thing also to point out right here is make sure that your if statement is lined up with your print statement, because it's going to see if it worked. Here we're basically giving it 5 attempts to see if it ever succeeds. The other mistake was E should be undercase. Like I said, case sensitive here. I don't know why I capitalized that. It's habit from coding in AutoHotkeys. Habits carry over from one language to the other. So hopefully that fixes it. Let's give that a shot. There we go. So yeah, there we go. It succeeded. Hello World 1. Now, it didn't do what it did before, where it did, Hello World 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because we're just seeing if it succeeds at some point. So on its first try, it did succeed. So then we get that message, all done. If it succeeds in sending an email or a message, an IM or something, we don't want to send that same email 5 times. So it succeeded, boom, we're good to go. Let's go ahead and see what happens when we change this to false, if we can spell it right. So false, we're going to go ahead and run that. So it's trying 5 times. And, hello, the term hello is not recognized. Okay, that's weird. So basically it failed, but yeah. If we do true, we're starting out, basically that's what we're looking for, is because we do want it to equal true. You're never really probably going to use false. I don't know why you would want to look for it to fail. Basically, if it fails 5 times, it's going to, just say, Hello World 1 is going to pretty much guaranteed to work. I can't think of a use case for using false. You're pretty much just going to be using true, because you always are going to look if something worked. Because if not, by default, it's just going to, it's going to do that else. And so that's pretty much the very basic intro. Obviously, the code will be in the description below. Something I just added up here, I had that commented out, but from Turtle, import done. This is just used for event loops, kind of like down here and stuff, so you may or may not need to use that depending on the type of loop you're using. But I threw that up there in case you do have some weird problems. You can always add this to your code and see if that solves the issue. It might solve the issue. Might not. But yeah, one of the biggest things to do is, definitely watch out for, like I made that mistake right there with that else where I had the E capitalized out of habit. That was an issue. And then I just was supposed to have that one thing commented out because I was supposed to be the title for this section and I wasn't thinking. So yeah. Old habits die hard, that's for sure. And make sure you always save your script before you run, or your new code will not be there. Unless you're using the run up here. Even then, I don't think. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, definitely let me know in the comments below. If you want to see me go somewhere with Python, let me know. I can do another simple intro. I might do another loop video, part 2 kind of thing, where I make even more fancier stuff. Maybe we do try doing that email send where I make it fail, or see if we can actually get the email to go through. I'll just email my other account. Yeah, so thanks for watching. Hit that thumbs up button. It always helps me move up for viewers to see my content, so that always helps my channel out, so I appreciate that. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you all on the next one.